Hi, I'm gonna be reviewing random TikTok videos and YouTube shorts.
I heard children don't like vegetables because vegetables on average are bitter. And
Yes, exactly. Because they are poisonous. Bitterness means toxicity.
most poisons in nature are bitter.
Oh yeah, okay. He gets it. I thought that he's gonna say something stupid.
And poisons are much more potent on a small body.
Yes, that's true. It's the same with salt. That's why a baby can die from a very small amount of salt. Just 2-3 grams can be lethal. Whereas for an adult, it would be 30 grams, for example. Depends on your body weight, the mass.
Such as an infant or child or toddler, than they are on an adult. So that this was an evolutionary resistance.
Evolutionary resistance. What is that supposed to mean? Adults simply get brainwashed to eat it. It's just humans that were brainwashed over and over again to start eating it until they actually did it. That's it. And they still use sauces, cheese, and all kinds of stuff because they do not want to eat broccoli or whatever kind of flowers and green leaves because it's not human food. That's it. There's no difference. Babies, children, adults, elderly people, everybody hates vegetables just the same. There's no difference.
To not dying by eating something that was poisonous.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Well, yeah. Wait, what? Well, yeah. Right. But then why do you still eat it? And they agree with it, but they probably still promote eating vegetables. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they're poisonous. What are you going to have for lunch today? Broccoli with spinach and rice.
That's exactly how it works. Babies and children have more taste buds than adults, so we're born with a lot of taste.
More taste buds? Okay. I haven't heard of that. More. Why more? Whatever. That doesn't make any difference anyway, because everybody hates them.
Taste buds that we sort of gradually lose over our lifetimes. So, everything they're tasting is more intense than what an adult will taste.
Yeah, you lose them, okay, but then why do you lose them? Because of the toxic vegetables. The toxins destroy the taste buds. Tell me that I'm wrong. Plus all the drugs that are put into the foods that people eat. Children nowadays even eat chips and all kinds of garbage. And the salt also. All the preservatives. Actually, that makes sense. Why else would they just die off? Maybe children are more sensitive to it. Maybe. Doesn't really make a difference because they are poisonous anyway and nobody should be eating them.
If I go over here and take this young lady by the throat and choke off her air, within seconds she's aware that oxygen is a requirement for life. If I lock her in a room with no water, within a few hours she will begin to suspect that water is a requirement for life. If I lock her in there long enough that she gets ravenously hungry, she will begin to suspect that food is a requirement for life. The oxygen time effect or cause-effect time relationship is very close, a matter of seconds. Water, a matter of hours. Food, a matter of days. Exercise is just as important as any of those things.
Oh, exercise, of course, yes. Water, food, oxygen, and exercise also, of course. You want oxygen, and really you just want air. That's a different story. It's not as if the air is made out of oxygen for the most part, officially. Who cares? But you also want meat, of course, naturally. Good, healthy food, and you would be drinking milk, blood, and so on. Point being, you want all of that. But you do not want to exercise. Nobody does. Nobody on this earth does. There's reasons as to why you do it. That's clear. But you don't want to do it. You want to achieve a physique or whatever, weight loss. I get that. But you don't want to exercise because exercise is stressful. It causes chronic stress in most cases. It ages you. It creates dark eye circles, under eye bags, wrinkles in your face. It's only bad for you. It's always stressful. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to experience stress. Nobody on this earth. So do you understand what I'm saying? Basically, exercise is the opposite of the examples that he gave. The oxygen, food, and something to drink.
But the time factor is much greater. Spread out.
And also the stupid music in the background. This I always heard in the Black Pill videos. But here it's as if he's giving you some groundbreaking information. As if you're supposed to have some epiphany. Such a fucking stupid video.
Out in time. So that if you don't exercise, you don't immediately become aware of it.
That's also stupid. If something is bad for you, you will always notice it right away. Maybe not as severely as the long-term consequences of doing or using something that's harmful for you, but you would still notice that it's bad right away. And he says you're not gonna notice the consequences of not exercising right away. That's not even naturally possible. There's no such thing. If it's bad, it's bad. You notice it. If it's good, it's good. You notice it.
Might take you months or years.
Makes no sense whatsoever. What's gonna happen if I don't chronically stress myself after a year? I will look younger, I will feel healthier, I will have more energy, and so on. Everything will be better.
By which time you will have done irreversible damage.
You will have done irreversible damage because you didn't chronically stress your body. Genius. I love it. Who is this guy? I need to read his books and everything.
To yourself.
As a comedy, of course.
And some that perhaps isn't irreversible.
Look at this. I could never eat this many lentils per day. That's so many lentils. That's crazy. You would have to eat almost 8 cups of cooked lentils per day to get the optimal amount of leucine, an essential amino acid for muscle growth and repair. But that same amount of leucine is found in about 8 ounces of ground beef.
Well, this is how much red meat you'd have to eat to get the same amount of fiber that's in just 1 cup of lentils. Actually, there's no amount. You can't get fiber.
Yeah, right. That's a good thing. Huh? What is he gonna say now? His argument is fiber, the indigestible part of a plant, which causes bloating, and long term it causes IBS, Crohn's disease, and so on. Of course, also all of the toxins in the plants and the seeds cause that. It's not only fiber. I'm not saying that.
From red meat, and that's why it's unfair to make these kinds of comparisons. Every food has a different nutrient profile and can serve a different purpose in your diet. You're allowed to eat plant foods for their fiber and their beneficial phytochemicals while also eating animal
Beneficial phytochemicals. Okay, man.
foods for their higher protein content. That being said, there are still plenty of plant foods that are high in leucine, like black beans, which have more leucine per 1.
Yeah, try eating a black bean in its natural state. If it's good for you, if it's natural for you to eat it, seeing as what's natural is always what's good for you, 0 exceptions. Come on.
Cup serving than a 3-ounce serving of beef. This whole argument reminds me of how carnivores tell you to stop eating plant foods because of anti-nutrients, and then that leads to you being vitamin C deficient, and then you have to eat a ton of organ meats to try and get enough vitamin C, instead of just...
Why? Prove that. Come on, none of this is provable. He's just spewing some nonsense, his religious beliefs. It's just bullshit.
Eating the plant foods that are naturally high in vitamin C. They're creating a problem that they then have to solve in a really weird way. So Paul, I know for...
I don't recommend eating only meat, by the way, and I for sure don't recommend eating a cooked muscle meat carnivore diet, but still, what he's saying has never been proven. It's just an empty belief.
For some reason, you think you're only allowed to have one type of food in your diet, but you are allowed to have some variety. And sometimes the best foods for you are not the ones that are the most nutritionally well-rounded, because there's more to food and health than just vitamins and minerals.
Actually, what he said at the end is very true. Not only is there more to food and health than vitamins and minerals, but they have never actually been proven, scientifically, obviously anyway, they have never been observed as such. Of course, there's minerals out there. We can see them with our senses. That's factual, you could say, if you see them yourself. But when it comes to the minerals in the food, that's a trickier topic. But when it comes to vitamins, for sure, Yeah, of course. And you should never even think about that anyway. It's not as if any animal, any human in nature thinks about such a topic. You eat what makes you feel the best. That's why you eat organs. You shouldn't be eating organs because of some vitamins or minerals. That should never be your drive. The drive should be how good it makes you feel.
For all you idiots eating vegetables and
Hey, I reviewed this guy.
salads, you realize the nutrients in there aren't even bioavailable? Imagine you're our ancestors and you come in the wild. You think they're going to eat a fucking piece of leaf? Hell no. They're going to go for the thing that's...
This is like my videos. That's what I've done before. Yeah. Well, it's good that people talk about it. More people need to keep pointing this out to make people understand how delusional they are, that they eat green leaves. As if anybody in nature would go to a tree, a bush, and eat the green leaves. But that's what you're doing. When you eat a salad, when you eat spinach, kale, you're eating green leaves. People just don't get it. They think that when they buy them in a supermarket, they are different. They are, actually. They have been cultivated. They are not as poisonous, bitter anymore. That's true, but the core idea is the same. You're eating green leaves.
bright and actually is produced by the plant and not the bullshit leaf that has defense chemicals and oxalates that are just gonna destroy your gut.
Good video.
This is the #1 most nutritious food in the entire world. At least
Almonds? Seeds? Really? Says who?
according to this list. I've been really captivated with this study, which ranked over 1,000 foods based on which provide the best balance of your daily nutritional requirements. And #1 on that list with a score of 97 out of...
It's the best food on earth, but you need to use a blender to eat them because they are too tough to chew all the time, because your teeth and your jaw is going to hurt.
100 is almonds. Healthy fats, fiber, protein, minerals, key vitamins. Almonds really have it all. But needless to say,
Prove any of this. It's all based on religious beliefs. She's eating seed slime just because of her empty beliefs. She blindly follows the guidelines put out by people who do not wish her the best, that's for sure.
influenced, I have this almond butter recipe on repeat all year.
She has baked grain sludge with seed slime smeared on top of it, and then she's sprinkling on some seeds, I think. So it's only seeds. How can people eat that? What's going on? Instead of eating raw animals, you're eating only seeds. And then all of these people complain about gut issues and all kinds of illnesses. How can it be?
Long. Stay tuned for more foods on this list. Top 10
Oh
is
yeah,
pretty
maybe
shocking.
some honey on top because she wants it to be sweet, of course, because it's garbage. Yeah, she doesn't look healthy, that's for sure. Oh my god.
This is proof that bodybuilder muscles don't always equal strength. Because when the world's strongest man, Larry Wheels, and this 240 pounds
Larry Wheels is not the strongest man on earth, obviously.
bodybuilder were doing a back day with this 160 pounds rock climber, they were surprised at the rock climber for easily doing the same amount of reps as them. You might think that pulling is his strong point, so this isn't surprising. But listen to what Larry Wheels said about it.
Like, we're not exaggerating for the camera. Like, genuinely mind-blowing. You're 165. You've never... 160. Never done this in your entire life. A single rep. And you just...
Yes, but I've said this before a few times. The drugs that these people use, Larry is on drugs, they may make you look bigger, and it may give the illusion that somebody like that is stronger, if you would define stronger as somebody who can lift and pull a lot of metal. But whatever the case, in reality it's not so. Oftentimes, more often than not, sure, sometimes there's exceptions, and if their bones are well developed and strong, of course they will be strong anyway. And having more mass is always going to help you when you do these kind of slave activities. But if you're actually a climber or whatever it may be, there's some other stuff that you can do. This can actually make you a better lifter, which is all bullshit. And the climbing is also bullshit. But I'm just saying, you can just see who would really be stronger. And in reality, when it would come down to a fight, Magnus would always win a fight. simply because he's way more agile. As messed up as he may be, that's just the truth. Larry would never have a chance against Magnus.
The same working weight and reps as us with more range of motion and with good form. And it's so easy though.
He's doing the same number of reps as us.
With the same amount of struggle too.
These kind of videos are mean. I feel bad for him, but it is what it is. Still, why make these kind of videos? Whatever.
I regenerated more than I degenerated. If you can live in a surplus of regeneration, with that excess, you heal yourself and you look younger, more vital, your stretch marks go away, your sagging skin goes away, your wrinkles go away, your grays go away, scars go away. So you want to be in that state. I call that state specifically the harmonic state, because at that harmonic state, you're regenerating, you're healing yourself faster than you're damaging yourself. Now, if you never enter the harmonic state, you'll always damage yourself more than you regenerate, and you'll keep getting older every year.
Okay, yes. That's pretty much what I talk about in my videos. You should be always healing. There really shouldn't be anything that you're repairing, but that's how it is for most people, because most people mostly damage themselves. They work all day long, drink coffee, eat horrible food, and then after work they even work out. There's always damage being done to your body. You're always in a stress state. Most people are chronically stressed today, meaning that they cannot heal, and there's no rejuvenation that's going on. They age only. That's why they age so quickly. We all age, obviously, but on most people it's visible very quickly, because they never repair the damage. I guess that's what he's talking about. And that's, of course, today, really mostly because of the food and exercise. Maybe ice baths and saunas also here and there, but those are the two biggest problems. Although jobs can also sometimes be very stressful.
But I just showed you proof from 2017. I look young.
The photo is really bad on the left side, really bad. You were unhealthy. It's different lighting. You have a tan. Still, he looks better. He looks healthier on the right side. No doubt. But does he look younger? He also had a beard on the left side. Well, still, whatever. It's a good transformation, whatever the case.
Younger now than I did in the 2010s and here in 2020, because it's the universal principle. It doesn't matter. This is why I say don't work out, because working out will actually...
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Huh. He kind of looks like he does or did work out in the past, though. Huh. Somebody else who speaks out against working out, yeah? Is the message spreading, maybe? That's cool.
Keep you from regenerating because of the...
Right, because you're stressing yourself and creating more damage when you work out.
Extra energy that you would have had went to lifting the weight and putting it back down. That's why people who work out tend to look a little bit more exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Wow. Nice to hear somebody else say this. It's interesting how there's still people in 2025 pushing green leaves and seeds. Most of them really believe that it's healthy to eat green leaves, flowers, the stems of plants, and the toxic bitter seeds, which they cook, of course, and then they put a red sauce with tons of cheese over the seeds because they hate them. But they believe that it's good for them. They believe that something that tastes bad can be good for you. Just thinking that, how can it even be? Your intuition tells you that it's bad. You get brainwashed. You've been brainwashed since you were a child. And then you kind of try to talk yourself into believing that if it tastes bad, it's good for me. The opposite of what your intuition tells you to do, to eat. And of course, it's the same with exercise. People also hate exercising. Everybody on earth hates it. Nobody has ever enjoyed any kind of exercise. Sports, as I have proven, I made a video about it some months ago. There's just no examples of it. Everybody hates it. It's stressful. It's chronic stress if you do it a few times a week by definition. And the funniest thing is that these people will say that it's important to manage your stress or to avoid stress, to be healthy, not to age, and so on. And then in the next sentence, they will say, exercise. You won't feel it now, but in a few months or some years, when you're older, you're gonna feel it. Your muscles will magically disappear. 0 reported cases of that ever happening to a natural animal. But for you, it's just gonna happen. When you're 60, boom, from one day to the other, you won't have any muscle. So exercise, exercise. If you do that, you won't even reach the age of 60. Thanks for watching.